What is up, you guys? The Fallout What If here. And today I'm going to be doing a what if that's been here for quite a while. This is what if Deku was, well, raised by Spawn. Now, where we did last left off was basically Izuku's family still died. And not only that, basically, how would I say this? Well, Izuku went to hell, became Scorpion. Not only that, did all that jingle jangle. Then found a portal because time was, there. So, Izuku went inside the portal where I said in one of my what-ifs that I was going to do it where he was going to fight the Incredible Hulk, but I thought, no. Just no. Alright? So, yeah. You don't have to worry, none of you have to worry your pretty little heads about this. But, anyway, Izuku went around and started to go and fight freaking, what's their face? He went to fight freaking demons. And in this round, the demons are much more weirder. He fought different kinds of demons. Mostly ones from the skies, due to the fact that this is more of the time where Izuku went into a place where it was mostly mountain, where it was mostly like where mountains were at, so they couldn't see the sky. They could see skies and all that stuff, and there wasn't that much landish creatures, but more of air creatures. No, it's just like it's a weird like little phenomenon that happened, but literally all Izuku did was just teleport to somewhere else, and then he found a place which looked familiar. And these are the mountains that he went to once when he was with Spawn. Now, Izuku just saw this and thought, am I in Camelot? And pretty much, Izuku just thought to himself, this can't be it. There's no possible way. There's no possible way of this happening. So, he was starting to fight demons. And he went there for quite a while, until he met Spawn. And pretty much Spawn and him were talking. And they were going, he was like, Izuku, Spawn, Izuku, Spawn. Well, technically it's Arthur and Edward. So, pretty much, the funny thing about that is just like, Edward, Arthur. And it was like, basically them just saying that a couple of seconds later, Spawn hit him straight in the freaking head. And this is when they were like, what did I do? I didn't do nothing bad. What do you mean you didn't do nothing bad? If you didn't understand this, you are not who you are anymore. And this is when Izuku says, what do you mean? Listen to you, son. You're a Hell Revenant. And I've seen these people. I've seen a Hell Revenant before. Not only that, you're also a Spawn user. Well, not a Spawn user anymore, but you still have it. And I take it that sword is no longer with you. So why don't you just call her back? And this is when he just says, what do you mean? I can't... Excalibur isn't here anymore, is it? And this is when all you hear is just this... And basically, Spawn just freaking says, I better duck. And the sword just basically hit freaking Izuku, and basically Izuku held on to it, and he said, "Whoa, what happened here?" This is when Izuku just told freaking... Well, this is when Spawn told Izuku that basically because he's still king, there's nothing wrong with him. So Izuku is okay, but here's the thing. Izuku does not possess the intelligence to understand what's happening. And yeah, pretty much that's it right there. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just more the fact that he has to go around and fight the demons. But give me a second here. Anyway, so Izuku basically told Izuku told him that Izuku was fighting demons and all that, like I was supposed to say. But not only that, Spawn just says, "Look here, boy. I don't know what made you want to become a Hell Revenant and all that good stuff, but why did you want to become a Hell Revenant?" And Izuku just told him that he wanted to save his parents, but he couldn't. He doesn't know why, but he just wanted to save them. Not only that, he wanted to talk to freaking Spawn again. So he knew that if he could talk to Spawn, it would make him more happier. And this is what Spawn said, so you couldn't save your family. That's what you're telling me. Well, can't get mad at you, boy. Oh boy. Look, you don't need to worry about it too much. You didn't need to worry about me. No matter what, we're okay. So, oh boy. So, that's a tough one right there, because that's, oh sheesh. Alright, kid. Let's see how we can fix this all right here, because yeah, you wanted to become a hero and all that stuff, so I guess there's nothing I can say. Besides, it's good to have you back, Izuku. Oh, my bad, Your Highness. And this is when Izuku says, "Oh, ha ha ha. So, why am I back here? Shouldn't I be used, for the powers of good again or something? Why am I back here? Because if that's the case, why was I gone?" And this is when Spawn says, "Well, quite simple, my boy. The reason why you were gone was mainly due to the fact that, well, let's say this. Because you technically did die, due to the fact that there was so much power that drained out of you. Not only that, all the blows that were hurting you. Basically, you died and now got reincarnated. So, basically, you don't have a Spawn powers anymore, although you can still get it again. But now you're a Hell Revenant, so yeah. Not only that, I see that you taking after the famous Scorpion. Scorpion? Who's Scorpion? Oh, sheesh. During my recent times, or during the times that I was fighting in a place, it was called the Nether Realms, killing demons and all that stuff. I met this one Hell Revenant that fought demons, and mostly killed evil, so I recruited him for once. And me and him were a good tag team. But not only that, it seems that you have much more, how would I say this, power than usual. Well, either way, it's now time for you to, it's time for you to at least fight me. And this is when Izuku says, wait a minute, what do you mean fight you? And he says, yeah, you gotta be training again. What, you think just because you now a Hell Revenant / going to get my powers, not only that have Excalibur, you think you're just going to leave? Oh no, sorry champ, but you ain't going to, well, you're going to fight me for a while. So, these two start fighting. And basically Spawn just shoots out Hellfire, and Izuku just shoots out Hellfire as well. These two Hellfires just hit each other, and not only that, Izuku is just seeing how hot his fire is, and Spawn is seeing how, evaluating how powerful he is, and this is when he says, I see, so you ain't that bad. Not as hot as his, but you're doing good. So these are when basically Izuku's just using Excalibur and just saying Getsu Contesho and basically slashing him. And this is when freaking Spawn says, you think you're the only one with that? And basically grabs a freaking sword off of his hand, off of his back, and basically just he deflects it. And this is when he says, you ain't the only one who knows how to use it. And this is when he says, Getsu Contensho, and basically slashes it down. And this is when Izuku and him are just basically kind of tied off right now. Izuku teleports and kicks him in the face, while Spawn grabs him with the chains and just slams him down to the ground. Not only that, he basically just grabs his guns and starts just ripping Izuku a new one. But this is when Izuku just teleports, and then after that, blocking with his sword. And this is when he just slams it on the ground, which makes a little earthquake. A bunch of knights and what's called servants are actually going to where the noise is at. And this is when basically Izuku is just seeing, well, what's happening. He's seeing what's happening. And pretty much these two are just fighting each other. Swordsman to swordsman. Not only that, this is when basically Izuku is just looking at everyone. And all of them saying, the king is back, people. The king is back! Oh boy, we get to meet the king again! And this is when he stops and says, oh boy. Well, yeah, you got your fans back. And this is when Izuku says, wait a minute, what do you mean I got my fans back? And this is when Izuku is just looking at everyone, and everyone looks at him saying, wow. How awesome is that? It's so great to meet everybody again. And this is what Izuku's thinking right now. Everyone's cheering him on because everybody has missed him, because it's been a while. It's been a long time since they last spoke. And this is when basically, how would I say this? That's a tough one right there, because Izuku is looking at basically everyone, but this is when she sees Bakugo's reincarnate, or basically ancestor. I forgot what I called her, to be honest, because it's been a while since I've done this. Should have done my homework and all that stuff, but basically, let's just call her, that's a hard, I forgot what what I called her once, but, but either way, Izuku just talks to her, and this is when she's just, very mad, and this is when she tries to smack him, but Izuku is just dodging it, and she's just getting mad, telling him, why did you leave? You know how worried I was? And we thought that you were all dead. And all this stuff, basically just trying to smack him in the freaking head. The guards are saying, ma'am, you cannot do that, he's the king! And she says, king my ass, I don't give a crap. And this is when Izuku just grabs her, and he just says, hold on. I didn't mean to leave you. Come on now, you know I love you. And she says, you really do love me, don't you? You loved me so much that you left me in the very end. And this is when Izuku says, I didn't need to leave you in the very end. Justify it. And he basically kisses her on the head, and he says, I didn't mean to leave you. If I meant to leave you, I would have written something and told you everything, but I didn't leave you because I wanted to. I left you because I had things to do. And believe me, I wouldn't want to leave you because you're special to me. And she says, don't think those cheap words could do anything to me. And Izuku says, they're not cheap. Believe me, I don't intend to lose. I don't want to lose you, alright? And this is when, basically, she gets a little mad and she says, do you mean it? And Izuku says, yeah, I mean it. I mean it. And basically, she can't do a thing besides, like, get upset, but basically give him a kiss. And basically, they're going at it a little too much, per se. People gotta, they gotta, talk to Izuku about, morality and all that stuff. Not morality, decency. Like, Your Highness, as much as we're glad to meet you again, we must tell you that it's not wise to do that. I mean, we wholeheartedly care about you enough. We don't care about, like, you guys going out and all that stuff. We appreciate it. It's just you can't do that in front. Well, you're our king and all that stuff, so we can't just say nothing. But Izuku just tells them all, like, it's alright. I don't care too much about it right now. Right now, I'm just going to spend my time with freaking, her. And she says, what do you mean, her? And pretty much, I truly forgot her. I truly forgot her name. So, yeah, either her name is Lydia or her name is Chloe or something like that. Something back then. We'll just call her Katsuki. We'll just call her Katsuki. There we go. Just call her that. Or Katsuki, like I did last time, but it doesn't matter. And basically, these two just go out for a while, and yeah, pretty much she says, we're getting married right now. And he says, wait a minute, why right now? And she says, oh, because you owed me for all this time, me waiting for you all. And then after that, saying yada yada, freaking yada. And he's like, yeah, she does have a point on that. I kind of did say I would marry her. And pretty much these two get married, and she's basically very happy. Now, when all this is said and done, pretty much she is very happy. Not only that, they have a daughter and a son. Basically, the son is older, and after that, then there's the daughter, which is the younger one. Basically, these two will be named... I don't know what to call them. Let's just say it's like, Clyde and Bonnie. Since nobody will know these names, Izuku would just be like, yeah, Bonnie and Clyde. Clyde and Bonnie, and Bonnie and Clyde. This is when freaking Spawn says, you know, we both know what that name came from. We both know that stuff. Hopefully, if these two become good people, I'll be okay with this. But if these two are bad people, I know who to kill. And this is when he's all like, relax, it's not that big of a deal. Just calm down. And this is when basically Izuku just, well, talks to them. Now, give me a second here. Alright, anyway, sorry about that. Let's see. I go covering his face right now. I don't want him to be like, oh, you fiend! But anyway. So, basically, Izuku talks to his kids and all that stuff. And basically, Izuku lives his life, well, doing what he wants. He's a king, and he basically takes his family to places, you know. Usually Spawn would always, you know, stay around because he usually likes it where he's at. But the thing is, Izuku's okay with this. Izuku's living his good life. Now, while that's all happening, Izuku just goes and talks to someone until he sees a portal. And Izuku tells them right now that he's going to have to wait for a while. Because, you know, the kids are like 12 now and all that stuff. So Izuku he's an adult. Well, he's already an adult, but he's like adulter. He's an adulter. Or he's an adulterer, whatever he is. But Izuku just tells his wife that he loves her, and he's got to do this mission because this is what he does. Izuku goes from timeline to timeline, saving the world. And usually that's his thing. Now, this is when, you know, Katsuki, or Katalea, since I think that's much more beautiful, she says, it's alright, dear. You go and do what you're supposed to do, Your Highness. And Izuku says, believe me, I wouldn't want to leave you at all. You're the best thing for me. You're the best thing that I ever had. That I'll ever have. So, basically what happens is this. Izuku just talks to her and all that stuff, and yeah, pretty much they had to fight. Or no, Izuku just goes into the portal, and he's back to where he was. But Spawn is there. And why is Spawn there? Well, because he has a mission for Izuku. And he's going to have to break some kind of bad news for him. So, what happened was this. Izuku talks to freaking... Well, Izuku talks to freaking Spawn. And is basically... It's going to be Bakugo's dad. Or stepfather. Because 2 years passed after the death of basically Inko, Hisashi, and Hanzo. I really forgot his name. But Spawn just comes in and says, listen, Mitsuki, I love you and you love me. Now let's make a family instead of having us just three. You know, just doing smooth talking his way. You know, loving her still. And basically Izuku just says, hey, Mr. Bakugo. What brings you here? And this is when Spawn says, yeah, nothing much. Don't worry. And he whispers to him, saying, alright, kid, we gotta talk. Just me and you. Dear, I'm going to take him, I'm going to take him somewhere right now. I'm going to, talk to Izuku, just man to man. And this is when he says, alright, since right now, you're the little one, I'm picking you up. And basically, he just grabs him he grabs Izuku's like collar, and this is when Izuku's just can't do a thing right now. And he says, "Look, Izuku, this is the timeline where basically you have no quirk, and you gotta solve some stuff, do what you gotta do. I can't help you right now." And this is when he says, "Why not? Come on, now you have power." And he says, "No. I mean, I literally can't help you. No matter what, I try to help you, but I'm not able to do it. Hell, even all the tricks that I've learned over the past is not even letting me help you with that. All I can tell you right now, kid, is since you have trained as a knight before, you'll be able to find out." And this is when Izuku says, "Well, wait, what? You can't just do that." And he says, "Yeah, I just did." And he's like, "That son of a... gotta do all that. Son of a... ah!" And this is what he says. Yeah, that's my fault. No matter what, I love you, Izuku. You're good and all to me, but can't help you out right now." And this is when Izuku just says, "Oh yeah, thank you. I'm so glad that you are so freaking all right." Sheesh. What is this world? Basically, after finding out about different things, you, my good friend, you and me aren't going to be your average people right now, because you have no quirk nor any powers. So this is a test. Can you do it without having power? Is that something that makes you who you are? Hopefully. Don't know too much. Now, I know a thing or two about this, meaning you have nothing to fear. Literally, you have nothing to fear, because, well, to be honest, you have me, but I can't help you out. But you have training as a knight. So, the one thing you can do is basically, how would I say this? Oh boy. You have the ability to train. And he says, "But I trained so much in my past." And I know you did. You did good. But now, it's not the time for that. I have to train you as the knight. And you remember everything in the past. And, well, that means you could potentially become the strongest knight ever. Not only that, I have a few ways of helping you out still. I can't help you directly, but I can help you indirectly. And this is when Spawn just puts down armor. And this is when he's like, "Oh, right, so this is some cool... is this magical or something?" And he says, "Nope." "What? Okay, so does this have like some kind of boost where basically my ability... so basically when I wear the armor, I become much more stronger?" "Nope. No. Okay. What about the ability to shoot fire?" "Neither. Izuku, you gotta learn how to do this without power. I've done this before in the past. Not having powers, feeling all weak. You at least had something over the years. But right now, you gotta be the strongest you can be. So, Oh boy, how do I say this? I can make this armor heavier or light, depending on how I do it. Now, this ain't no sciencey stuff right here. And if there was, there'll be some kind of person. Patrick, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you, Mr. Dio. There'll be somebody who at least tell me the science is all wrong. But with magic, I can get away at least about anything. Right now is not the time for that. It's time for you to be the strongest person again. Now, hurry up. Let's get this over with, Your Highness. And he's all like, ugh. Come on. No, I don't like to be called that all the time. True. You don't like to be called that. That's why I do it. And he's like, you mother... What? You call me that. It is going to be true. Technically, me and her are a couple now, so... You can call me that anytime you want to. Because that's the truth. And he's all like, as much as I saw Mitsuki and, you know, she is very awesome and hot, right now's not the time for this. Jeez, let me just get to work. So that's the spirit, Izuku. Come on now. Let's go. And he's all like, whatever. So, 2 years of training with heavy armor. Now, Izuku's has not taken off this armor at all. They said that because of Izuku's condition of sickness, he wears this armor which has the ability to heal him. And while it's not true, basically, Izuku is just playing along with this. Now, people do bully Izuku, because he doesn't have a quirk still. Oh boy, and do they bully him, saying, oh, look at that, the weakest person here with armor. Oh no, my hero. And this is when, basically, Bakugo, Katsuki, is always there protecting him. And Izuku's always smiling and saying that, thank you, Bakugo. You're so kind to me. And she says, yeah, you can, don't worry, I have your back. All that stuff. And this is when, pretty much, Izuku's always coughing because basically Spawn made it to the point where he put a little curse, like a teensy bit curse, putting it to the point where Izuku would feel these effects of drowsiness, sleepiness, you know, sickness, a little bit of a dilemma, if I should say that. Basically, Izuku is there and coughing at times, and this is when Katsuki says, you can't always stop. Oh man, Izuku, just please stop coughing right now. You'll get better one day. You'll see. This is when Izuku says, sorry, but I know it's true. I know the truth is that I'm a sick person, and this armor is what's keeping me from actually feeling all the effects. And this is when Bakugo feels kind of bad for him. Over the years, Izuku is getting trained. Izuku is bulked up a lot. He hasn't bulked up to the point where he's beef boy, but he's bulked up to the point where basically he looks different. A lot of people that train, Izuku is just basically running. Not only that, he carries a sword with him every time to always make sure he practices swinging. And not only that, this sword is weighted as well. And every time Izuku has done 100 swings, he basically coughs up a tiny amount of blood. Now, why would I do that? That's so cruel. Well, so that way, they could see that Izuku is just basically coughing up blood. Them saying, oh yeah, he's human, alright. There's nothing... Wow, he's just so weak. Basically fooling all of them. Spawn doesn't like it. Spawn hates doing this to him. And he's also raised Izuku. Like, he's already raised Izuku in the past. So to do this truly hurts him. Don't get me wrong, Spawn is not always the most charitable person, but he doesn't hurt people or innocent people just because. He does it for a reason, but it still doesn't mean he likes it. So, over the years, people have treated him nasty. Because in this universe, quirks, the better the quirk, the better you're liked. The worse the quirk, the more you're treated like a homeless person. Now, Izuku is right there just, well, telling everyone that he's alright. And a lot of people try to bully him. And this is when Izuku and Bakugo basically tag team. Because she doesn't always work on her quirk, but she's usually trying to, becoming a little more stronger over the days to try to protect Izuku. She says that it's Izuku that she cares about, and she's never calling him an idiot and all that stuff. She does say he's reckless. She does say that. But she usually just tells Izuku that he's doing the best he can, and she sees that he's trying. She sees he's trying because he's a person who likes doing this kind of stuff. Now, give me a second here, people. So, basically, Izuku's gonna look like this. So, this is what a warden looks like. He looks like the most awesomest person I ever seen. I gotta admit, when it comes to medieval stuff, and not Patrick, they hit it right on the mark. So, basically Spawn trains freaking Izuku as a warden. Well, he's a warden now. Not only that, Izuku's gone to so many protocols as a king to always make sure that he understands what they are, what their role is, and how to make sure the world is much more safer. To the point where he took on so many roles as different kinds of fighters in his times that he decided, gave him a title known as the Man at Arms. So Izuku trains like this. Bakugo trains with him. And even though Izuku's pushing himself, she does not want to tell him that it's to stop. Because Izuku, no matter how bad things are getting for him, or even though they think he's sick, he's not really sick, it's just side effects on how his body is. Basically, he is fighting at 100% every time. So when freaking Bakugo said, look, you don't need to keep going, Izuku, all he just does is not even pay attention to her. Because he's training his body every single freaking day. Now, when he was 7, he put 100 pounds on him. Or Spawn put 100 pounds of weight on Izuku. Now, Izuku is 12. He put a good 400 pounds on him. Added. So he has 500 pounds of weights. Not only that, with the sword. The sword! You know how heavy a sword is? It's not heavy, but it weighs something. I like using swords because they weigh something, and you can at least feel the weight going. And this is his sword. It's called a falchion. And he's going to use this kind of bad boy right here. Not only that, as a warden, he must make sure that he's making sure that peace is always around, even though people bully him. Not only that, Spawn trains him every single day. So he's going up the limits every single day. Izuku can handle so much weight, so much pressure. And when he turns 13, he puts another 200 pounds on him. So this guy weighs about 700 pounds. So, Bakugo is always seeing how strong he is. Now, Izuku is just training himself. And not only that, learning different ways of slashing and hacking people, stabbing with using a blade that he, well, basically Spawn gave him, basically a knife to make sure if the sword does ever break, which hopefully it'll never happen. Basically, he uses this as his primary weapon, and not only that, gives him gauntlets and leggings, so that way it can be a little more basically a little more heavy on him. So, with all that, Izuku just goes around, and people think, who is this idiot right here wearing an armor? And Izuku just doesn't pay attention. Bakugo has gone strong as well, to the point where her quirk, she learns how to do AP shots. And she's good at it. She's good at it. She's at least progressed farther than Bakugo in the canon series. Well, at least, she's at least season 3 Bakugo. She's season 3 Bakugo right now. So, with all that being said and done, Izuku and the others have always have to protect, the students around. And not only that, Izuku's always training his body even more. Everybody makes fun of him, saying that he is the knight of wimps. All hail the knight of no one. And Izuku doesn't pay any attention to this. This is when Bakugo steps in and says that he is so strong that he can beat all you guys in a matter of minutes. And none of you guys will be able to beat him due to the fact that he's so strong. Which she's bluffing. She doesn't know how strong Izuku is. All she thinks is that Izuku's the same. Now everybody thinks Izuku's the same, and let me tell you this. The reason why people think Izuku's the same, that he's not strong in PE and all that stuff, is because he has weights on him. Nobody knows that these things are weighted. Anytime Izuku is on a chair, it does not show any weight at all, but it's only inside the person. So, Izuku's always looking like he looks like someone who's just not carrying a thing. He doesn't care about anything right now besides training. And they all bully him and make fun of him. Not only that, when somebody tries to hit Izuku just takes the full brunt of it all. Izuku always just makes sure he's blocking his face and making sure no one hurts him. Now, Izuku just says, "It's alright, Bakugo," or Katsuki, or Kachan, as he usually just calls him. She says it's not alright. Why does he not understand that he will get hurt one day? Izuku says, "Don't worry, I have this. I want you to have faith in me." And she says, "I've been putting so much faith in you. You always scare me. Look, the reason why I don't believe you is because I know you and I care about you so much." And Izuku says, "I know you do. But when my time comes, I want to be the strongest that I could be. And I want you to be there with me, by my side." And this is when she just says, "I'm always going to be by your side. It's just you have to be careful." And Izuku says, "But wait a minute, didn't you just tell them that I can meet them in a matter of minutes?" And this is when she says, "Yeah, but doesn't that mean that you wanted me to fight them? Because if you didn't want me to fight them, you would have just told them that you would have fought them yourself. Or I would have not wanted to fight since I'm sick." And she says, "That's true and all, but and didn't you also say that I can finish them in a matter of minutes? I wouldn't be worth their time, or they wouldn't be worth my time, which means you provoked them to the point where they were going to fight me anyway." And this is when she says, "So you deliberately, even though you're worried about me, you put me into the line of fire." And she says, "Okay, I'm sorry, Izuku. I didn't mean to be so, And Izuku just hugs her, and all she feels is just this metal on her, and he just says, "Don't worry, Katsuki. I love you no matter who you are, even if you put me into hell." And she says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that." And Izuku just, says, "Alright, well, either way, we're going to just have to sign up for the Heroes exam." And she says, "Well, wait a minute, but look, Katsuki, look, here's the thing, Kachan. If I don't make it, I will give up being a hero. I will give up all my hopes and dreams about being a hero. No matter what you say, or no matter what I say or do, I cannot go back on this promise. But if I do go there, not only are we going to have a good time in school, not only are we always going to be by each other's sides, but not only that, I'm going to be the #1 hero." And this is what she says. Fine. I get it. If you win. And this is when he says, "Alright, thanks." And basically he just walks off, and she says, "Whew. Oh boy, I can't believe I said yes to all this. But wait a minute. Oh boy. Did he just said what I think he just said?" And she just remembers the whole fact that he said, "I love you." And she's all happy but flustered and just saying she's a little more she's basically Bakugo's system just shut down and it's just overloaded with joy and happiness. So basically Izuku is just there now, and he's just, training even harder for the next 10 months. And every day, Spawn is not every day, every week, he's putting 10 pounds on Izuku. So, every 10 days, every week he's putting 10 pounds on Izuku. So 40, 80, 120. Yeah, it's to the point where he has, let's just say this, he has at least over 600 pounds more than what happened. He basically trained that hard to at least get that much. So, Izuku is just training his body even more, making sure he swings faster and harder. And he's always running laps. And this is when Spawn says, "Oh boy, I can't wait for him to be the best he could be." Not only that, with the whole fact being that I just told him right now he's going to have to try harder. Well, nothing else I can do. And this is when basically Izuku is just, waiting for the exams. And everybody knows, a lot of people has heard of Izuku. The one person in armor who's weak. And Izuku doesn't care at all. Izuku does not care whatsoever. Oh boy, does he not care. With him not caring, all of them get a little upset. They're all like, "Wait, what? He doesn't care about the fact that we just made fun of him? How dare he ignore us? Oh wow, how dare he not listen to us make fun of him? I mean, what kind of a simpleton doesn't listen to that part? You know what I'm saying, people? Am I right?" So anyway, Izuku just tells them, "Look, I don't care at all about your whole... I don't care about the whole, oh, you're heroes. You're going to be heroes one day and you're going to surpass me. As far as I'm concerned, none of you guys are strong enough to handle me. And this is when Bakugo is just like, wait, what? Izuku, hold on, calm down here. And Izuku's just saying, no. They must learn the truth now. Yeah, sure, you all have impressive quirks. That I will give you credit. I will tell you right now that all you guys are strong. Oh shit, hold on here. All you guys are the strongest. Nothing can ever stop you but me. Well, me in entirety. Right now, I'm the one that you cannot beat. I am that milestone for all of you people. Not only that, you complain about having the best of the best quirk. Well, I train every single day. Every single time you all were complaining about, oh, my quirk is just basically being a hindrance. All of you people, well, most of you people that I've seen or heard about, and yes, I do my research on a lot of people with good quirks. Even the #1 hero himself doesn't care if you're quirkless or not. He even said it himself that people should be treated equally. And none of you guys care. All of you guys think that because you have a strong quirk, that you guys will get into UA. Not only that, and here's the thing, he said this twice. Well, he said one shorter, but this one is when he goes into the USJ entrance exam, and the other one was basically the UA entrance exam. And basically, when people were laughing at him when he got the recommendation, since he's trying, he said this: all of you guys will lose against me, not because of your quirks and all, but because you don't put the time or effort to ever make yourself better at stuff. You don't put time into working your powers. You only just try to use them to be all cool and stuff. I don't care about any one of you people. Only those who try to make themselves better by actually putting effort are ever going to be true heroes. And for all of you guys who just show off your quirks so that way people can respect you, you're below the worst pits of hell. I swear, if I ever see you there, I know one thing's for sure. You guys make me sick. And everybody's just roaring in anger. And Izuku is just sitting down, and Bakugo's all like, Izuku, I know that you're not supposed to say that. Look, Izuku, clearly this thing has gone over your head. And Izuku just grabs her face, and just looks at her straight in the eyes and says, I'm keeping my promise, no matter what. And that is the way I'm going to live. A knight with honor. And all she sees is like Izuku just going to try to give her a kiss. And pretty much, yeah. So, basically after all that stuff happens, everyone's just, looking at Izuku like fresh meat right there, people. Not only that, Izuku just is listening to President Mike, and he says, or he hears, oh yeah, I thought we were supposed to listen about the 0-pointers. What about that? And he's all like, not only that, it is a shame that we have to have someone here who's quirkless, talking to us like we were lowlifes. You guys are, you people without quirks are just those with dreams that will never happen, whose goals are meaningless because they don't have something to at least push them to their highest. And Izuku says, what about yours? What is your goal? And he says, I don't need to tell you. And this is when Izuku says, good. I don't need to listen to you. And he says, how dare you? And I say, I dare myself much. What? You have to have a quirk to make yourself the best of the best. I bet I can take you down without even using my blade. And this is when Ida says, wait, what? You're not supposed to bring weapons? And Izuku says, the whole point of being a hero is to give it everything you got. Everything you know. Everything that is a part of you. When I signed on to being a warden, which technically isn't an occupation, but it is a lifestyle. Or being a knight is something where basically you take on the role of a knight and also make sure you be the best of the best knight that you can be. It's not an occupation or a job, it's more of a lifestyle that people live, like the way of a samurai or the way of a ninja or the way of a knight, which is a beautiful thing. I'm not saying that, but those who just do it to look cool, yeah, it won't work out as much as if you don't put your heart into it. So Izuku says this: as a knight, we carry swords. We carry weapons with us. So that way, not even that. I know people back then. There was those who brought the laws, who maintained order and law, which were known as lawbringers. Not only that, those who protected us from those who tried to rile up people and cause chaos and anarchy. We called them the peacekeepers. And not only that, we have those who try to bear all the hatred and still keep going and beating and attacking them with weapons. Usually by brute force do they listen. Known as conquerors. There's much more. But I do know one thing. It doesn't matter to me at all about what you think. You guys are all just pitiful people, and I'm ashamed of you all. Anyway, besides all that, I had to hurry up and just get ready for basically the quirk assessment test. Oh, sheesh. Not only that, but, there's really nothing I could say about that. And this is when Ida just is like a little upset due to the fact it's like, oh yeah, this guy is just golly. And this is when Spawn is there because he's helped out a lot of heroes. He is not the hero of heroes, but he is someone who's worked with them. Kind of like a freaking Aizawa. So, when Aizawa was there, basically, Izuku just said this. Hey, father. Hello, my boy. How you doing? They treat you right? Nope. Well, I guess you gotta screw them. You gotta mess them up. And basically, this is when everybody's going to do the race. 3, 2, 1, and basically Izuku just chops, basically is running past them all, just pushing everyone aside, and pretty much getting ready to slash one, and just dodges one of the attacks, and just slams his freaking fist onto the robot's face. Not only that, he just grabs one of their freaking, how would I say this? He grabs one of their freaking pieces and just freaking throws it onto the freaking onto one of the other robots, which causes them to be a little more hectic and all that stuff. But Izuku gets ready, grabs his falchion, and basically slashes the freaking robot's head in half, causing it to be, exploded. Not only that, Izuku is just breaking freaking robots, just smashing them, breaking their limbs and all that stuff. Not only that, using his full combat abilities to absolute. Not only that, punching them and punching them and punching them, just breaking their heads. Not only that, pretty much Izuku is just getting much more riled up. And this is when basically he's just everyone's like confused, like, how is this kid faster than a lot of us? Even though he's not as fast, he's still like, he looks weak, but how is he much more like, how is he beating these things? He's just using his fist. Granted, he's using metal gauntlets, but not only that, he's just attacking them and they're still breaking. A normal punch will not stagger them as, like, will stagger them, but not a lot. But this kid is just destroying them. And this is when Izuku is just grabbing one of their legs and just breaking it off, slamming it into the freaking robot's head, or stabbing their heads. Not only that, all he hears is a cry for help. And this is when everyone runs away, but things are different. Izuku gets scared for this girl, and he just starts running. And they're like, everybody, get the stop the freaking the 0 pointer. And this is when pretty much, what's his face, the principal, Nezu, says this. No, I'm sorry, but we can't just, we have to let this young man prove himself. Everyone thinks that he's worse. People think he's bad and all that stuff, and yet he's actually doing pretty well. Let us see how good he truly is. And this is when Izuku just runs up and just picks up some of the debris and throws it, and he's breathing very hard and just keeps coughing up blood. And this is when freaking Nezu says, "Oh dear, I think that he's sick. Oh man, oh boy. Alright, I guess I might as well cancel it." And this is when Spawn just says, "Now wait here a minute. Do not get... My son is still strong. Do not stop it just because of that. He's a big boy. He's stronger than that. Trust me." And this is when everyone's all like, "You can't be serious. This is your child." And this is when Spawn says, he is my stepchild, or we're not related by blood, but I raised this kid to be the strongest of the strong. Not only that, if he were to be unhinged, all of them, and even if he was to fight that big robot, he would be able to beat them all, no matter how bad things are getting right now. And this is when Izuku just picks up the rubble and grabs one and just chucks it as hard as he can and hits the freaking robot's head. And pretty much the robot is right now like a little dazed. And this is when Izuku just picks up Uraraka and just puts her somewhere else. And this is when he's just running towards the freaking 0 pointer. Not only that, just grabbing a piece of rebar and just breaking it in half. Or not breaking it in half, he grabs a couple of pieces of rebar and he's just stabbing the freaking leg. Climbing and climbing and climbing. And this is when everyone's like, is this kid serious? Why? Why is he doing that? That's not supposed to happen. Why is this kid just doing that? This is not parkour. And this is when Izuku is just saying, alright. Oh gosh, this is so heavy. I wish I had light armor. But right now is no time like the present. And this is when Izuku is just climbing, and he gets up, and he sees the freaking 0 pointer, and just does a shield bash. But basically, he just shield bashes it, and just shield bashes it. Basically, a weird combination of one of the warden's moves, and he's just pushing that thing and breaking as much of the freaking face off as he can. And when he stabs it with that piece of rebar, it electrocutes him through and through. But all Izuku is just doing is just pushing even further, causing him to feel a little sick and coughing up much more blood. Not only that, Izuku said, "Ah, golly, this is going to be such a pain." and just basically grabs some of the rock that was broken and just freaking punches it, or not punches it, but freaking slams it onto the freaking rebar, causing it to go all the way through and inserting into the freaking robot's head to the point where now it can't basically function, and Izuku is holding on for dear life because even though he's in armor and this is heavy armor, but it won't affect him, it's still going to be a long fall. So basically, once that happens, he is just on the ground, and everyone is looking at Izuku, and they're all like, "Is this kid serious? Look at him now; he's lost." Everyone call the ambulance, and Izuku just gets up, and Spawn is like, "Well, I didn't think you would pull it off like that." Not only that, I don't think that was the best recovery I've seen before. Oh, look at my boy. Look how awesome this kid is. Literally can go through hell and back. Well, anyway. Do you guys see now why I told you everything's going to be okay? This kid is the strongest of the strong. No matter what, I trained him to be so powerful that he can handle a lot. He could possibly handle All Might if he wanted to. Granted, he would need a blade, unless I took off his armor. And they're all like, well, Nezu's like, what do you mean take off his armor? Are you saying that he's not at his fullest potential? This is when Spawn says no. He's to the point of strong where that armor is just basically holding him back. Oh boy. I make it heavy every day. Giving him a couple of pounds more so that way he can get used to it. Making him grow. And this is when they're like, how heavy is the armor? At least about 1,400 pounds. And they're like, that's more than half of a ton. I know. I made him stronger than that. He's going to do really good. And they're all like, that's nothing to be proud of. That's nothing to be proud about. You're telling me you literally make your son carry that much? And Izuku says, well, this is when Spawn says, what do you mean? Don't kids get this kind of treatment every day? And they're all like, no parent does that. And basically some of the heroes are just arguing with Spawn, and Spawn saying, well, my kid's going to be anyone's kids now. Oh boy, you guys are all screwed. Give me a second here. So, basically Izuku is just, Spawn is just saying that, no one is going to beat his son. His son is to the point of strong already. He is stronger than anyone's ever imagined. And to everyone's response is like, Spawn, you're insane. Mr. Smith, you're insane. Why? Why would you put your son through so much of that freaking stress? And this is when he says, because the boy wanted to be strong. And All Might's all like, Mr. Spawn, as much as I am going to say, you are kind of, you have done one of the most epic training sessions that I ever heard of. That being putting someone through so much weight and pressure, but at the same time, that's not a good idea. Here's the thing. Wouldn't this mean that Izuku, wouldn't this mean that he would be super, tired? Wouldn't this weaken him much more? And this is when Spawn says, nope. He's not going to get weak at all, whatsoever. Matter of fact, I'd say the kid has around much more potential than anyone here. In this school, most likely. This kid has only trained physically. Mentally, he's actually broken the limits of what humans can do. Now, I know this may be a shock to you, but I think we should give this kid a chance. Not only that, he just took down a robot by himself, using the only tools that he had on him, and the tools that he had in around this part. This kid is strong enough to do all this, and he has the battle instincts of at least any of us here. I think this kid's going to be a good hero one day. Now, if you're going to take him down because he was the lowest, he had the lowest score, I wouldn't mind that. But I know all the rules as well as you do. So, don't think you're gonna pull any stunts on me. Because I'm not a fool. I know anything, if anything. So either way, what I want to say is that hopefully my kid did good. If anything like that. But right now, I think he did good. Look at him. So strong. Yet so humble. Someone who would protect his fellow people, even though they would hurt him any chance they get. So, with all that being said, I think there's nothing else we can say. Or at least, there's nothing here that we need to discuss. Now, hopefully he gets the fair treatment as anyone here. And not only that, with hero points and all that stuff and rescue points, I think this kid's already got first place. But I may be wrong. Anyway, I'll see you all later. And this is when Ezra says, yes, he did very well, I have to admit. And they're all like, you're not going to let him go here. And this is when Nezu says, why not? I think he did very well. Some might say he did so well that he literally blew us all away. And this is when All Might and the others are like, but even though I advocate for people with no quirks to do the best they can in life, I never would think that this is what he had in mind. Look, he may be good right now, but I can't just stand by knowing the fact that this kid might get hurt. I won't stand for it. Please. Listen to reason. And this is when Nezu says, I've already listened to enough reasoning. I think he will do good. Anyone here want to tell me no? Tell me right now. Because I believe this kid's going to change history. Not only that, the fact of the matter being, he literally trained harder than anyone here. What's to say that we can't just let him try? Who knows? he might do better than anyone else here. And this is when they're all like, alright, you're the principal here. Just don't tell us that we screwed up or anything. And this is when he just laughing, please, I won't do that. Anyway, basically 2 weeks go up, Izuku gets, first place. Everyone's excited. Well, not everyone, but everyone that he knows, or everyone that knows him at least, is excited. For the fact being that this kid has just done the impossible. And basically is the first hero without a quirk to get first place. Now, other things like this, such as Izuku just going around and, everyone else telling him, oh yeah, he's going to do great. Everyone laughing at him. They're kind of mad, saying that, oh yeah, he cheated. He cheated. Give me a second here, people. So anyway, basically Izuku is just now number one in his class. Everyone is, disliking him. Not only that, everyone is like, golly. So pretty much now this is the whole point where everyone's going to talk to him, be like, oh, how strong did you get? And Izuku's all like, well, I wear this armor, and that's pretty much not the source of my strength. And they're like, what is the source of your strength? And this is when he's all like, the source of my strength comes from, well, that's a hard thing to say. Because the power that I have comes from my training. And they're all like, oh, that's kind of weird. Not only that, some jackass says this, oh my, look at how basically this kid is. Oh, how pathetic. You know what happens with weaklings. They're basically going to lose. And not only that, you didn't even win. With Quirk, you only won by a fluke. And this is when Izuku says, oh, hi, my name is... Yes, I know what your name is. I've heard it so many times, it's going to make me yawn. And Izuku's like, alright, so is there something I can help you with? I'm like, yes, you can help me with something. But I want to tell you this. You should get lost. There's no room for a person like you. And pretty much that's where I'm going to leave it off. Because I got to do a lot more with basically the freaking... I need to download, edit this. Not only that, do other things with it. And because there's so much... And I have so little space, storage. Basically, yeah. But don't worry. It will be done. It'll be done. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. Don't need to saying this. But anyway, people. Like, comment, to subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout What If You're Here. And, gosh. And bye.